Hey guys, it's Dr. Jason. In this video, I just wanted to show you the size of the needles that are typically used in dry needling. I'll show you my needles, and then I'll show you a couple of other things that I use when I do dry needling. I know sometimes we get worried, like how big are these needles gonna be, or maybe you're not so good with needles, or you kind of have a phobia. So hopefully we can put some of that to rest because they're really not that big. So let me just turn the camera around here. All right, I got the camera turned around here. I just got a couple things that I use for dry needling. First, I always got gloves on in order to protect myself, but they also help if there's any blood that comes. It's pretty rare to have blood, but it definitely happens now and then. And then I actually think it gives me a better grip on the needle and when I'm grabbing the skin to find a trigger point. So I do wear gloves. Obviously the sharps container there, that's where I put all the needles. So needles that we use for dry needling are all one-time use needles. So if we take a look at them, you can see that they're all individually wrapped in there. So this is 5 needles. These are really technically acupuncture needles, but that's what we use in dry needling, or acupuncture needles. There's a couple newer brands out there that market their needles for dry needling, but dry needling originally used acupuncture needles. So these are 3x5. These are pretty common needle size that I use. I'll show you some of the bigger needles that I use. These are 3x75. So I'll open one of these up for you here, and you can kind of see what they look like as far as length. So they come with a tube there that just helps the needle go in when we tap it in to get through the skin. And then this little tab here is just to keep the needle in that tube. So once I take that out, you can kind of see that that's the handle there at the end of it, the spring handle, and then I'll just pull this one out. So this is a pretty long needle. I'll put it behind my hand there just for reference. I typically only use this maybe in the butt where we have a lot to get through before we'll actually hit the muscle. Or maybe we're going down to a deep muscle like gluteus minimus. So this is a pretty long one. Let me just toss it in the sharps container here, and then I will show you one of the smaller ones that we use. Here are some really small ones we use. So I'll actually use these more often for acupuncture, but I could use them in dry needling. They are really tiny. So maybe you'd use these when you are needling like a facial muscle. So I'll bust that up. This one actually has a plastic handle. The other one has a spring handle. And you can see if I put my hand behind it there, that it's a really short muscle and it's really a thin muscle. So I can kind of tap on it and you can see it actually just bent there. Needles typically don't really bend that much with dry needling. I've never had a needle break with dry needling. I guess it theoretically could happen, but it's probably pretty rare. These things are really high quality. And then here's some of the other ones. This is, I think, here's a 3x75 again here. And then it just kind of goes down to the smaller ones. So that gives you an idea about the size of dry needling anyways. If you have more questions about dry needling, feel free to check out our website and our blog. It's www.accesshealthchiro.com. I've got some more videos on here as far as dry needling. In my blog, I talk about dry needling for certain conditions. One of the ones that's getting a lot of traction right now is for shin splints and frozen shoulders. So if you know anyone or you have that stuff going on, feel free to check those out and just kind of look around there. And hopefully soon here, I'll get some more videos that kind of show some dry needling in action so you can see what it looks like.